The doctor. Late one night, a patient woke in an empty hospital room to the sound of metal scraping across the floor outside his door. The hallway lights flickered weakly beneath the crack in the frame as the noise grew louder, slow, deliberate, dragging closer with every second. Then it stopped. Silence filled the room. A moment later, the door creaked open. Something stepped inside. At first, it looked human, dressed in the silhouette of a doctor, but its proportions were all wrong, far too tall. Its limbs stretched unnaturally long, its body bent at angles no person should be able to stand in. Its face was pale and distorted, with features pulled into a grotesque imitation of a smile. The patient tried to scream, but the thing raised one elongated finger to its lips, as if asking for silence. Then it leaned closer, its face inches from his own, and whispered in a voice like tearing flesh, "The procedure begins now." The security footage from that room cut out seconds later. The bed was found empty the next morning. The doctor is a towering humanoid entity estimated to stand around 20 to 30 meters tall, though it often appears larger in confined spaces due to its elongated proportions. It resembles a grotesquely distorted medical professional, with stretched limbs, unnatural posture, and facial features twisted into a permanent, uncanny expression. Unlike Dr. Nowhere's larger environmental entities, the Doctor is a close-range predator that uses psychological intimidation and confined spaces to trap its victims. Its almost human appearance makes it especially disturbing, as it twists something normally associated with safety and healing into pure horror. To survive this creature, avoid abandoned hospitals and medical facilities where it is most often associated. If encountered, do not allow it to corner you in enclosed spaces and never remain where escape routes are limited. The Boiled One. One night, a hospital worker stayed late after her shift ended. The halls were silent, the lights dim, and every room felt emptier than usual. As she walked past the burn ward, she heard wet footsteps behind her, slow, uneven. She turned, but the hallway was empty. Then the footsteps came again closer this time. She looked toward the end of the corridor and saw something step into view. It was tall, impossibly thin, and its entire body looked skinned raw, covered in glistening red flesh like muscle stripped of skin. Its face stretched into a warped expression, eyes sunken deep into its melted features. Steam-like heat rose from its body as it tilted its head and began walking toward her, faster. She ran, hearing the slick sound of its feet slapping against the floor behind her. The last thing the security cameras captured was the hallway lights flickering out one by one as it approached. The Boiled One is a grotesque humanoid entity, estimated to stand around 8 to 15 meters tall, with a body resembling flesh that has been boiled, melted, or stripped completely of skin. Its exposed musculature and warped facial features give it the appearance of a human body transformed into something horribly unnatural. Despite being smaller than many Dr. Nowhere giants, its disturbing design makes it one of the most terrifying entities in the series. It moves with unnatural speed and emits an overwhelming sense of dread, often appearing in enclosed spaces where escape is limited. To survive this creature, avoid isolated buildings and abandoned medical facilities where it is often associated. If encountered, do not freeze, run immediately, and create as much distance as possible. Never let it corner you indoors. Housewalker. One evening, a family relaxing in their living room heard a deep rumble outside. Slow, heavy, rhythmic, like something enormous dragging itself across the neighborhood. The walls trembled, windows rattled. Thinking it was an earthquake, they rushed outside, only to freeze in horror. Down the street, an entire 3-story house was moving toward them. It did not roll or slide, it walked. The structure lifted and shifted forward on long, hidden limbs, each step shaking the ground beneath it. Through a shattered upper window, someone saw it, a giant eye staring from within the darkness of the house itself. Beneath it, a mouth slowly opened between the walls, stretching wider as the creature stopped in front of them. Then the house leaned forward, and the screaming began. By morning, the street was empty, except for a trail of destruction leading into the distance. The Housewalker is a massive architectural creature, estimated to stand around 12 to 18 meters tall, resembling a full house being used as a shell by a monstrous hidden organism inside. Its true body remains concealed within the structure, with only a giant eye and mouth visible through the interior. Supported by long, unseen limbs, it moves with slow, unnatural steps and can partially levitate as it walks, giving it an eerie, floating motion. Its bizarre fusion of domestic architecture and living flesh makes it one of the most surreal and disturbing entities in Dr. Nowhere's universe. To survive this creature, leave the area immediately if you hear heavy rumbling accompanied by a moving structure. Distance is the only reliable way to stay safe. Watchtower. One evening, a man was driving home along the outskirts of the city when he noticed something towering in the distance. At first, he assumed it was an old water tower, rusted, skeletal, and barely visible against the darkening sky. But as he got closer, unease set in. He had taken this road for years, and nothing like that had ever been there before. Then he saw it, a single massive eye at the top, wide open and staring directly at him. The man stopped his car, unable to look away. A strange pressure filled the air, heavy and suffocating, but curiosity pushed him forward. He stepped out and walked toward it, crossing beyond the edge of the city limits. The moment he did, his body began to come apart. No scream, no blood. Just pieces of him fading into dust as the eye remained fixed on him. Within seconds, nothing was left. The tower never moved. It only watched. The Watchtower is a towering structure-like entity estimated to stand around 51 meters tall, resembling a rusted industrial water tower, fused with something living. Its most horrifying feature is the enormous, unblinking eye embedded at its peak, constantly scanning the area around it. Unlike many Dr. Nowhere creatures, Watchtower does not chase its victims. Its danger comes from its passive but lethal presence. Anyone who approaches it or crosses into its active range appears to disintegrate instantly, as if erased from existence. Its motionless, silent nature makes it especially unsettling, turning it into a monument of death rather than a traditional predator. To survive this creature, never approach it if spotted in the distance. Stay within populated or protected areas, avoid crossing open boundaries while it is visible, and under no circumstances, look directly into its eye for long. Unnamed mushroom creature. One afternoon, a couple ventured deep into the woods searching for an abandoned trail few people knew about. As they pushed farther into the forest, they noticed a massive shape rising above the tree line in the distance. Something that looked at first like an enormous mushroom towering over the canopy. Curiosity got the better of them, and they moved closer. The air grew damp and heavy, and the ground beneath their feet turned strangely soft, almost sponge-like. Then they saw the face. Embedded in the stem was a human-like figure fused into the creature's body, wearing old overalls, its pale face staring blankly ahead with hands clasped motionlessly against its chest. Before they could react, thin root-like tendrils burst from the earth around them, wrapping tightly around their legs. They screamed and tried to run, but the forest swallowed the sound. Neither of them were ever seen again. The unnamed mushroom creature is a colossal fungal humanoid estimated to stand around 121 meters tall, resembling a giant mushroom-like organism with massive roots, extending deep into the ground and upward through its body. Fused into its stem is a humanoid figure with a still, staring face, giving the entity an eerie and almost ritualistic appearance. Rather than actively chasing prey, it appears to trap victims through its surrounding root system, turning the ground itself into a hunting mechanism. Its combination of scale, stillness, and parasitic fungal imagery makes it one of the most disturbing eldritch entities in Dr. Nowhere's universe. To survive this creature, never approach giant, unexplained fungal structures in remote forests. If the ground beneath you begins to feel soft or unstable, leave the area immediately before its roots can reach you. Driving down the highway. One night, a woman was driving alone along an empty highway when a thick blanket of fog rolled across the road. Visibility dropped to almost nothing, forcing her to slow down. Then she saw something ahead at first, just a dark shape moving within the mist. She squinted through the windshield, trying to make sense of it. Then it stepped into view, a massive creature on all fours, its body towering above the highway, with a back arched unnaturally high into the fog. Its limbs were impossibly long, carrying it forward in silent, gliding strides that covered impossible distance with every step. Panic hit instantly. She slammed the brakes, threw the car into reverse, and turned around as fast as she could. In the mirror, she saw it still coming each stride, bringing it closer despite her speed. The fog outside seemed to close in around her as its silhouette grew larger and larger behind the vehicle. Only when the first rays of sunrise broke over the horizon did the creature suddenly vanish, leaving the road empty once more. Driving down the highway is a massive quadrupedal entity, estimated to stand around 27 meters tall, with an elongated body, extremely long limbs, and a sharply arched back that gives it a warped, predatory silhouette. Its face is rarely seen clearly, often hidden by the dense fog that surrounds its appearances. Despite its size, it moves with unnatural speed, gliding across vast distances in only a few strides, and relentlessly pursuing anyone caught in its territory. Its combination of speed, silence, and sheer scale makes it one of the most terrifying roadside entities in Dr. Nowhere's universe. To survive this creature, avoid driving through dense fog at night whenever possible. If it appears ahead of you, turn around immediately and leave the area at maximum speed. Hesitation can be fatal.